Sabharya saprajah kaman bubujendriyan virodhatah Yayamana satkirti Sastribhi suragayakai Pratyupesva anubandhena Hirda Srinman Hare Katha.
Until 6:30.
Okay, so we'll do the word for word. Sabharyaha.
Sabharyaha.
Along with his wife.
Along with his wife.
Saprajaha.
Saprajaha.
Along with his subjects.
Along with his subjects.
Kaman.
Kaman.
The necessities of life.
The necessity of the life.
Bubuje.
Bubuje.
He enjoyed.
He enjoyed.
Anya.
Anya.
From others.
From others.
Avirodhataha.
Avirodhataha.
Without disturbance.
Without disturbance.
Sangiyamana.
Sangiyamana.
Being praised.
Being
praised.
Satkirti.
Satkirti.
Reputation for pious activities.
Reputation for pious activities.
Sastribi.
Sastribi.
Along with their wives.
Along with their wives.
Sura Gayakai.
Suragayakai.
By celestial musicians.
By celestial musicians.
Prati Usheshu.
Pratyusesu.
At every dawn.
At
And
every dawn.
Anubhadena.
Anubandhena.
Being attacked.
Being attached.
Hrida.
Hrida.
With the heart.
With the heart.
Shrinvan.
Sriman.
Listening to.
Listening to.
Hare.
Hare.
Of Lord Hari.
Of
Lord Hari.
Katha.
Katha.
The topics.
The topics.
Translation. Emperor Swayambhuva Manu enjoyed life with his wife and subjects and fulfilled his desires without being disturbed by unwanted principles contrary to the process of religion. Celestial musicians and their wives sang in chorus about the pure reputation of the emperor. And early in the morning, every day, he used to listen to the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with a loving heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Human society is actually meant for realization of perfection in Krishna consciousness. There is no restriction against living with a wife and children, but life should be so conducted that one may not go against the principles of religion, economic development, regulated sense enjoyment, and ultimately liberation from material existence. The Vedic principles are designed in such a way that the conditioned souls who have come to this material existence may be guided in fulfilling their material desires and at the same time be liberated and go back to Godhead, back home. It is understood that Emperor Swayambhuva Manu enjoyed his household life by following these principles. It is stated here that early in the morning there were musicians who used to sing with musical instruments about the glories of the Lord, and the emperor with his family personally used to hear about the pastimes of the Supreme Person. This custom is still prevalent in India in some of the royal families and temples. Professional musicians sing with Shanais, and the sleeping members of the house gradually get up from their beds in a pleasing atmosphere. During bedtime, also the singers sing songs in relationship with the pastimes of the Lord with Shania, accompaniment. And the householders gradually fall asleep, remembering the glories of the Lord. In every house, in addition to the singing program, there is an arrangement for Bhagavatam lectures in the evening. Family members sit down, hold Hare Krishna Kirtan, hear narrations from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita, and enjoy music before going to bed. The atmosphere created by this Sankirtan movement lives in their hearts. And while sleeping, they also dream of the singing and glorification of the Lord. In such a way, perfection of Krishna consciousness can be attained. This practice is very old, as learned from the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Millions of years ago, Swayambhuva Manu used to avail himself to this opportunity to live household life in the peace and prosperity of a Krishna conscious atmosphere. As far as temples are concerned, in each and every royal palace or rich man's house, inevitably there is a nice temple, and the members of the household rise early in the morning and go to the temple to see the Mangala Arati ceremony. Mangala Arati ceremony is the first worship of the morning. In the Arati ceremony, a light is offered in circles before the deities, as are a conch shell and flowers and a fan. The Lord is supposed to rise early in the morning and take some light refreshment and give audience to the devotees. The devotees then go back to the house or sing the glories of the Lord in the temple. The early morning ceremony still takes place in India temples and palaces. Temples are meant for the assembly of the general public. Temples within palaces are especially for the royal family, but in many of these palace temples, the public is also allowed to visit. The temple of the king of Jaipur is situated within the palace, but the public is allowed to assemble if one goes there. You will see that the temple is always crowded with at least 500 devotees. After the Mangala Arati ceremony, they sit down together and sing the glories of the Lord with musical instruments, and thus enjoy life. Temple worship by the royal family is also mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita, where it is stated that those who fail to achieve success in the Bhakti Yoga principles within one life are given a chance to take birth in the next life in a family of rich men, or in a royal family, or family of learned brahmanas, or devotees. If one gets the opportunity to take birth in these families, he can achieve the facilities of a Krishna conscious atmosphere without difficulty. A child born in that Krishna atmosphere is sure to develop Krishna consciousness. The perfection which he failed to attain in his last life is again offered in this life, and he can make himself perfect without fail. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Namaste Srivari Krishna. So, this is very encouraging. Basically, we're in this material world, and we have to, Prabhupada said, we have to make the best use of a bad bargain. This is not a really place that we want to be, we should want to be. It's not a nice place. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all the places of misery when repeated birth and death take place. But you don't have to be miserable. You can be happy if you have Krishna as the center. So, Prabhupada gave an example of a placid pond. And if you throw a rock in, then waves will come out from that rock. If you throw another rock in, then waves will come. And then the waves will collide. But if the center, if you throw the rocks in the same exact place, the waves won't collide. So if we have Krishna as the center, if I want to be the center, you want to be the center, then there's going to be difficulties. But if you have Krishna centered, God centered, then there's no difficulties. And we can see Swayambhuva Manu, millions of years ago, big king, big palace. And he just had nice arrangements where every day, morning and evening, they heard and chanted. Even in the Bhagavad-Gita, in verse 13th chapter, verses 8 through 12, it's all together, and it's the qualities of knowledge. And one of the qualities that says, non-attachment to children, wife, home, and the rest. That may sound bad. And then, but in the purport, Prabhupada explains that if you have it, he says, if morning and evening you read books and Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-Gita, and you chant together, and basically if it's God-centered, then you can live happily in household life. It doesn't, so there is a prescribed way of living as a householder. You can have children, you're allotted sense gratification to a certain extent. You know, anything, too much of anything is no good. So even too much of sense gratification is not good. Certainly not good. The only thing, too much of Krishna is good. But anything material, too much of anything material is no good. But Krishna, you can't really overdose on Krishna. you can just do as much. And basically, your whole day should be centered on Krishna. And Prabhupada also said, I mean, in here he says how even when they sleep, they dream. Prabhupada said if you dance, you know, in front of Jagannath, you can sleep, and you think your consciousness of Jagannath. At night, you dream of Jagannath, and you can dance with Jagannath. If you dance with Jagannath here, you can dance with Jagannath in your sleep and dance with Jagannath in the spiritual world. So we have to somehow or other make this life where Krishna is the center, and then there'll be prosperity. Everything but another thing Prabhupada said is wherever there is spiritual well-being, material well-being will follow. So we don't have to. There was one devotee was saying once how first we got to get ourselves together materially, then we can, you know, become Krishna conscious. And that's completely wrong. First of all, you're never going to get yourself together materially. It's like no such thing. You know, because everything is always changing in this material world. But you can get yourself together materially if you're together spiritually. Krishna is the center, and you don't have to worry about anything. Krishna will take care of you. If you have faith in Krishna, he will take care of you. He takes care of the ant with a few crumbs a day. He takes care of the elephant with 400 pounds of food a day. If you've given your life to him, he's going to take care of you. You have to have faith. Faith is very important in spiritual life. You know, you're not even going to get realizations until you have faith. If you're just doing everything mechanically, it's not going to help. I mean, eventually, if you start hearing, then you'll benefit. But you do have to have faith. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was not seeing Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he had his brother-in-law was telling him he is. And then, after some time, he accepted, he actually realized, he completely accepted that Lord Chaitanya must be, Krishna himself. And then, when he thought that, Lord Chaitanya revealed to him his Sadbhuj form with 6 arms. The 2 arms playing the flute, and 2 arms holding a water pot and dunda, and then the other 2 with bow and arrow. So he's Lord Ramachandra. He showed him this form. He's Krishna, and he's also Lord Chaitanya. But he didn't see that until he finally accepted that he was. So the faith has to be there. So we have to have faith. Just going through it mechanically is good in a sense that eventually maybe something will spark. But until you get to that, it's not going to be much very deep realizations. But Krishna will share, as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Peter. So you get rewarded accordingly as much as you surrender. And it's really nice because it's completely fair. Like they have communism where everything is, supposed to be, everybody gets the same, everybody works, but some people work real hard and they get the same as somebody who doesn't do anything. And then if you're a big official, then you get everything. So it's not, that is not fair. But they tried to come up with that. But with Krishna, because he's God, he can give you, reciprocate with you fairly. Not necessarily, definitely not materially, we're all going to get the same amount of money. No, but you're going to get the same amount of happiness and pleasure. And whether you got money or you don't have money, it doesn't make any difference. It's not anything external that Krishna is going to give you this, not promising you that. But in life, you'll be happy. You'll be happy. There's, what's his name? Who sold banana leaves?
Kolavechar Sridhar.
Kolavechar
Sridhar.
Okay, now either all at the exact same time or one person. Anyway, yeah, so he didn't make hardly any money, but he still gave half the money that he had, that he made for worshiping the Ganges. It's like, and he had, like, you don't make much money selling banana. And we have banana leaves here, I was thinking of selling some. How much am I gonna make? So, we get what we deserve, and if you really want in Krishna consciousness and you surrender, you get realizations, you get understandings, you get, and whatever material things you have, it's enough. He takes care of you. He's not, you may not get a lot of extra stuff, but he definitely maintains you. I just saw Prabhupada today on a video of, it was really nice. He was giving a class about Queen Kunti. And when Krishna was leaving, and she said, don't leave, who's going to protect us? And Prabhupada points out, Bhima and Arjun are her two of her sons, and she's worried about who's going to protect us. And she's saying that only Krishna can protect us. They can't protect us. You're not seeing this externally. And then, because something else happened in this class. This is an interesting part, and I don't know how I was going to relate this so much to. But you get, you get what you need. There's even that song. You may not get what you want, but you get what you need. It's you probably know that, Ron. It's a song, old song from the 60s. But even in that class, there was coughing. People were coughing, a few people. He said, why are you coughing? And somebody said they got a cold or something. And then he's given a class on teachings of Queen Kunti, and he talks now about how you have to take care of your body, you have to take care of your health. You can't serve Krishna if you're not healthy. And he spoke for about 10 minutes on how you have to be healthy, and he said it's just like we maintain the temple nicely, you have to maintain your body nicely. So we have to take care of these things. I mean, it's Srila Prabhupada given it. And then he went back to Queen Kunti. But it's like he just was concerned of the devotees' health. And everything he's concerned in trying to teach us. But the devotees, Kunti wasn't dependent upon her sons, wasn't depending upon anything material, just depending on Krishna. That's the only thing that can save us, is Krishna. We may think we have everything now, maybe very powerful, and in 1 second it could be all be gone. I remember when, I don't know if anybody here will remember, some of you maybe remember, but I was in, when President Kennedy was shot and killed, assassinated. Now, I mean, the whole country here everybody was very sad. And I remember going back on the train. I was in high school and I had to take a train to school. And I'm going back and everything was just so quiet. Everyone was so sad. And then later I thought about, he was young, he was very wealthy, he was very powerful, he was very smart. He had so much opulences, because Krishna has so many, 6 opulences. He didn't have renunciation, but he had most of the other 5 opulences. And in 1 second, it's all gone. So what is, in other words, what is the value of a prolonged life wasted in experience in this world? Better a moment of full consciousness, because that gives one a start in searching after his supreme interest. So better to be Krishna conscious even for a moment than have all the opulence of this world. It's all so fleeting. This life is so fast. When you're young, it goes by real slow. When you're old, it goes by real fast. But it really is, it's only a flash compared to eternity. This life is just, that's it. It's nothing. But yet, when we're struggling so hard just to make ends meet, just to survive. And you don't have to. Srinivasacharya, right? Was it him who said, or Srinivas or Srinivas? What? Srivas? One of the Srivases. Srinivas or Srivas? What? Who said what? Srivas. Okay, Srivas. He didn't do anything. Lord Chaitanya said, I don't see you doing anything. How do you live? Yeah, thank you. But she's, in case I'm forgetting, she's going like this to let me know. But she said he would clap his hands 3 times. And if he doesn't get what he needs, then he's just going to jump into the Ganges, give up his life. And everything is always provided. He didn't have to do anything. He just given his life to Krishna, and Krishna provides everything. So, so this hearing and chanting, a lot of people, even on Sundays, they don't have time to come once a week to the temple. It's like the most important thing, hearing and chanting, associating with devotees. What? You said something. I'm getting a lot of help from the audience.
I just thought of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Sweepanam, Mapanam.
For those sitting here, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Sweepanam, Mapanam. So that's devotional service.
Kennedy died November 22nd.
What?
Kennedy died November 22nd, 1963.
Oh, today, that's today.
Today,
Is it today? Really?
63, 1963.
62.
Really?
You happened to mention it today.
That is,
Inspiration.
and Prabhupada said there's no such thing as a coincidence.
Gita's birthday.
Happy birthday too?
Hari Bol.
That's how I remember that.
Okay,
Today's,
I thought it
He
was,
died on my 8th birthday.
you were 8 years old
I was
when,
8 years old.
how'd you feel?
I actually felt very
Gita.
sad because his children were my children, my age. You know, his daughter is my age.
Oh, and his father.
then it's 1963.
Oh, okay.
I'm correct.
Google it, that's why.
Anyway, I was a senior in high school. And everybody, the teachers, everybody, I didn't know what happened, but everybody was very sad. Then they told us, and they let us all out of school, and we all went home early, so I was happy about that. But that's something, today is the day.
And you mentioned about that.
I mean, I never mentioned, I don't know if I ever mentioned him in class before, but just happened to mention him today. But anyway, it's a good example of how everything can be taken away in a moment. You know, all this, whatever great material opulence you have, so better to try to, because in Krishna consciousness, whatever spiritual advancement you make, that stays with you eternally. It's an eternal bank account. You're putting money in this eternal bank account. And it's always there, you never lose it. It's not money, but it's credits.
Deposit.
Uh,
Deposit.
Yeah, deposits, it's deposits.
Years ago.
And you don't lose it. And all you gain from money, degrees, PhDs, whatever you get, at the end of this life, it's all gone. You start in your next life, going to kindergarten and figuring out how you're gonna maintain yourself again. But spiritually, so you do both. If you have Krishna as in the center, you can actually be happy in household life, you can be happy in his life, and you can be happy in the next life. Otherwise, you're not gonna even be happy in this life. No matter what you have, without Krishna, without God consciousness, there's no purpose to life. You can't be happy. Even people appear to be happy, or people have everything that you think will bring happiness, they're still not happy. And the Beatles song, you can tell me when that happened, where it said, all you need is love. And he said, money can't buy you love. So, I don't know whose birthday that fell on. But, anyway, so this is how to be happy in the material world. You know, make the best use of a bad bargain. Somehow we wound up here, it's not a good bargain, but now what are we gonna do about it? Okay, so we only have a couple of minutes. Is there any questions, comments? Okay, Jiva, you could say a few things.
I just think it's really nice how Swayambhuva Manu, he set the example for everybody, how to live a simple life. He made it simple, you know, in the morning and the evening, just here, you know, and therefore they would dream, you know, hearing, because they're always, and it's, he mentioned how it's very pleasant, you know,
The Shania, and in Mayapur, Prabhupada would have every morning they
Yeah.
play the Shania.
I don't know if they still do, but they used to.
They used to, I don't know if they still do either,
Yeah.
but they used to every morning. And I was wondering why they're playing that, and then I found out.
I think sometimes they play them at weddings too, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any Shania plays here? Yes.
If you ask anybody, if you were to die with money or without money, ask that question. What do they say?
That's, I mean, I would think people say, what difference does it make?
I doubt it. They'll say, I would rather die with money.
Yeah, I know,
Because, you know,
but I
money,
would,
nobody
I would
cares.
think, what difference does it make if I die?
I know.
What's the difference if I have money or don't have money?
At least people will be around.
And I'm saying this, I agree. I met a man on a bus. I was taking a bus to sell books, and I was trying to sell him a book. And he talked about how he was born, and he was an orphan, he was put in an orphanage, and he made money, and his whole goal, what he wanted was to die rich. And it's like, why? You know, it's like, didn't make any sense to me, you know, why you want to die rich. That was what he wanted. So I didn't sell him a book, and I don't know if he donated anything, but I just thought it was, I never met anybody that was their goal in life, to die rich. I mean, better to live and be poor, but keep living, than to die rich. But anyway, so people do think that way. I'm thinking devotees, I don't think devotees would answer that way. I mean, now they know everybody here won't, we have to get to the next person who walks in the door, we'll ask them. Would you like to die with money or die without money?
I also know someone who used to say, I'd rather be rich and unhappy than poor and unhappy.
Yes, they would.
So one of
But
my
it's,
family used to say that.
it's, what's the difference?
It's a question of security in your present material life.
I know, but if you're gonna die, that one makes a little more sense, but the one about dying, would I like to die with money? I know my father, because, over here, we burned the body, we buried the body. But I remember my father saying, it was in a coffin, he said, when you're dead, they put your hands like that. They don't put them in your pockets. So, he definitely wasn't into, neither my mother or my father. We didn't have much, but they were fine. But I'm sure they would have said they'd rather be unhappy with money. I think most people would, if they have a choice, how they want to be unhappy. Okay. See if there's something else. Okay, any other comments? We're ending now. Talking time.
You say when you're born, you come with your, like this, with your